Hello, I'm Alex Gupta with UATV. Today I'm speaking with Valentyn Bohaichuk. Mr. Bohaichuk is the owner of Odesa Rent Service. Hello, Mr. Bohaichuk. Welcome to UATV.
Hello.
Let me ask you, how is the tourism season this summer in Odesa?
So, when talking about Odesa, it's not like business, it's more like hobby. Especially the last years when this situation, very strange situation, is lasting. If you are interested in easy datings, cheap and tasty food, and lottery, you know, like Wheel of Chair, Wheel of Fortune, gambling, so welcome this year to Odesa. Be ready to see a lot of attractive young people, fit, a little bit slim, as a reason of average salaries at reception, for example, like $150 per month, in comparison to an average cost per night, $75 in a 4-star hotel. At the same time, you will see in Odesa a lot of modern and expensive cars, which means that we do have rich people. Mm-hmm. But because no production business or any other type of business is able to survive nowadays in Odesa, we can even say in the Ukraine totally. So these rich people invest in hotels and restaurants as they think the easiest way of having business. As a result, we have nowadays, for the last 5 years, 120 new hotels, 20 new hotels and apart hotels opened just this season. As a result, they are all rich, look expensive, they're more like design hotels, but the cost of one night stay is, like I said, in high season is from 40 up to $75 in a 4-star hotels. I'm not talking about less stars.
Is the tourism, where are the tourists coming from?
So to combine this information that I have just mentioned, you can imagine the prototype of Odesa tourist. First of all, mostly Turkish people, because they are neighbors and because of the political situation in their country. Mm-hmm. They escape or come like tourists and become like residents. Secondly, Ukrainian local tourists, but this tourist is very cheap as a result of this never-ending crisis and so-called war. And then Israel people, Israel tourists, they come to Odesa and buy a lot of real estate, mostly commercial. They probably know some secret about the future of our city.
I see. So, okay, so that's interesting. So Turkish tourists are coming because of the political situation in their country. But I mean, is the political situation in Ukraine much better than Turkey?
So they are not followed, at least, by the government.
I see.
They can have business here easily, not like it's now in Turkey. And they like, of course, Odesa lifestyle, as I said, because of people, food, and sea, and the climate, which is in general approximately the same like northern regions of Turkey.
I see. So let me ask you, based on that, are a lot of the tourists, are they, you know, party people, families, or who are they?
Families, they are local tourists who come from northern parts of the country for summer holidays. More people, they're just single men or just friends or a company to come to discover the city, to learn that it's really full of nightclubs, nightlife, and interesting people.
I see. So Israelis, are coming and they're buying commercial property. This is no residential property, mainly just commercial?
Mainly commercial.
Are they buying apartments or hotel, or not apartments, but hotels, restaurants? What kind of commercial?
Restaurants, shops, this kind of, but not residential property.
Okay. When I was in Odessa last year, I saw a lot of residential, saw a lot of construction, condos, apartments. Who's moving into those?
The local ones. The local ones. So like I said, the rich people who have hobbies opening hotels, they buy all this property, which is very cheap for square meter now. They buy a lot of like apartments in one building and make hotels. They make repair works and rent apartments. So if it's not a hotel, so just separate apartments.
I see.
Beauty salons, restaurants. So like the easiest way of having business when the situation is like this.
So wealthy Ukrainians, because I saw, you know, by Arcadia where I was, there's a lot of nice condos going up, apartment buildings. So a lot of wealthy Ukrainians are moving in there.
Yeah, but a lot of property is staying not used.
Really? So there's a lot of vacancy?
A lot.
Okay.
Not even repaired. So the building is finished, half of it is sold, maybe even fully sold, and just 20–25% repaired. So you can see the picture that the building is attractive, but inside you can easily find a lot of free space.
Well, that's interesting. Why is that? Why isn't it being fixed or completed?
Because of the situation. Yeah. So nobody is interested to invest money without future perspective.
Yeah. So then the people who bought those units, their money is just gone.
They're stuck for nobody knows how long.
I see. Okay. I want to ask you, is traffic in Odessa, has it increased since the illegal annexation of Crimea?
I can say that the quality of a tourist has changed, but the number hasn't increased.
What do you mean quality?
I mean that before this annexion, we had a lot of Russian tourists. And this kind of tourist who had money and who was interested to come to vacation and to spend all he has earned for the whole year. And Russians loved Odessa very much. And they used to buy a lot of this residential property, which now is empty, waiting for someone to come and to buy it. So the number of tourists didn't increase because Odessa, so tourists who come to Odessa, they come for, how to say, civilized vacation, not wild, like in camps or somewhere outside, like it was in the Crimea. And this traffic of tourists is coming to Odessa, but not directly to the city, but somewhere around Odessa, like Karolina Bugas, Koblevo.
I see.
And the number of tourists over there increased.
I see. What kind of hotels do well? 5-star, 2-star, hostels?
Hostels start to be popular nowadays. 5-star hotels, I can say they simply do not exist in Odessa. So they call themselves 5-star hotels, they call themselves 4-star hotels, but they're located in central old buildings. Like 50% located on the second or the third floors. There is no elevator, and the breakfast is not served because constructually it's not possible to make a kitchen or a restaurant together with the hotel. So they separate all the rooms just for living. And they call themselves 4-star and 5-star hotels.
I see. I see. So would you say overall in Odessa, you said that the number of people, tourism has not increased, but it's a different kind of tourism. You don't have the big money that was coming there from Russia. So would you say that, you know, what does the future then hold for Odessa? I mean, it's just a lot of tourist money's gone now, yes?
That's why I started my interview saying that now it's a hobby.
Oh, okay.
So you don't make money, you don't earn anything, you pay very low salaries, you work just 2-3 months a year, so this is season, and then you sell the room which costed you for, let's say, for 8 rooms to open 8 rooms, $1.5 million, and you sell it for $25-30 per night.
I see.
All the details like from Italy, and you have to sell it just to have at least someone to stay in.
I see. Wow. Okay. Anything else about Odesa, the tourism season, that you'd like our audience to know?
Of course, there is still a lot to do, and I believe that the situation will improve, and we will have international chains coming to Odesa, because nowadays we don't have them. There is just one chain invented by local Odessa people, and one chain like Records invented specially for Ukraine. Okay. So the owners are foreigners. They're German, from Germany, I mean. But it's supposed to be Ukrainian style. So we don't even know how hotel business in real is doing and how it even looks like.
Okay, yeah, that's an interesting point, right? There's no international chains there. There's no Hyatt. There's no Intercontinental Fairmont. No real international Western brands.
Not yet.
Yeah, hopefully that'll change.
They're waiting to come, and they know that our market is very attractive. Yeah. But at the moment, they don't see any reason to speed up this process, because of, I have already said why.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today in the studio, Mr. Bohaichuk. We really appreciate you coming.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Alex Gupta with UATV. I'm speaking with Valentyn Bohaichuk. Mr. Bohaichuk is the owner of Odesa Rent Service in Odessa, Ukraine. You're watching UATV.